Today on Dr. Phil, she's threatening her ex.
He needs to pay up.
She's broke.
Did Nelson hide $1 million from Leslie?
No.
That box was always right there. He never let me touch it.
And she's bitter.
He threw me up against the wall, threw me on the floor, swung me in the living room.
That looks like Circus Olay.
I do not remember it happening like that.
I think she disagrees with you. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you very much. All right, take a look at these threatening emails. You will pay the price for all of your behavior. I am coming after you. 50,000 more. You are in trouble. You are going down, and Dr. Phil is coming. Is my guest today in danger? Why does he owe 50,000 more to someone? Who is sending these emails? Well, the answer might surprise you. Meet Leslie. She was once a suburban housewife and devoted mother of 2. And now? Well, now she's divorced and on a mission to get money she claims her ex-husband owes her. She says he has hidden his assets with the intent to leave her homeless.
I'm angry about being treated the way I was treated. I'm angry that my ex-husband, Nelson, doesn't even communicate with me. I'm angry about getting screwed. I know Nelson cheated me out of money. He needs to pay up.
From the time that I filed for a divorce until the divorce ultimately was granted in 2011, I supported Leslie 100% financially.
My mother was sick. I wasn't working, and I could not afford to move out. I was held hostage. He said, I'm not going to give you a damn dime. The credit cards were cut just like that. No cash flow, nothing. I had to beg for $20. And he said, if you want $20, you go out there in that garage and you grab that mopping bucket and you come back in here and earn that $20 and you clean up this mess of kitty litter.
Leslie was gambling. She was using the credit card to get money out of the ATM at the casino. Leslie would come home late at night. I presumed that she had been losing at the casino. She would just throw open the door, screaming at me, demanding money. It was very frightening. Leslie's behavior felt like a wild animal was loose in the house.
Nelson's a sociopath. He would just act calm as a clam, and make me look crazy. He put me through hell. He owes me money.
Okay, but just how much does Leslie feel like she's owed?
After the divorce, it was like, boom. Nelson walked away with my home and the pool that I built, my children.
My ex-wife and my son Sam believe that I owe my ex-wife money. My daughter Emily and I believe that the divorce was fair.
Nelson walked away with over $1 million. We had plenty of money. He had a personal trainer for $400 a month. He had a membership to a fancy health club. He had a membership to a gun club. He bought 3 or 4 great guns. He just splurged. Nelson told my lawyer that he would take care of me. He would make sure that I got my hair done, that I had clothes, and then he turned around and basically told me, I'm not giving you a dime, and he didn't. Look at these holes. I never looked like this before. I mean, this is so upsetting to me. We just look like rag people. I feel like this is Nelson's fault because he promised that he would continue to buy me clothes.
Leslie felt entitled to be supported by me for the rest of her life. Leslie refused to look for work and has been living solely off the alimony.
In the divorce settlement, I got around $300,000. I have about $100,000 left. I'm afraid of ending up under a bridge like an old lady.
Okay, so you feel like you are totally getting jerked around by him?
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. Gut feeling, had it all along.
And this was premeditated by him?
I believe so. I believe he started I believe he started hiding money before he even decided to file for the divorce.
So, is that true?
That is not true, Dr. Phil. That's not true at all.
Why did you get a divorce? Why did this fall apart?
Well, ultimately, it came down to where I learned that Leslie had been going to the casino with some friends, and I was very concerned about the possibility of what could happen. I told her that if I find out that household assets were being used for her gambling, that I would file for a divorce.
Were you gambling?
This is exactly what happened. I came home one night late.
Were you gambling?
Yes, I was gambling. It was the first time I had ever gambled. I did not walk into a casino until I was 50 and a half, maybe 51 years old.
But you were gambling?
Yeah, it's my first time. And the next day, boom, that divorce paper was on the table. Okay. Just like that.
Is that true?
That is true.
That is fairly accurate, yes. Once I made my threat, if you will, and then I followed through.
Okay, so she went to a casino with some friends one time.
That's right.
And you filed for divorce the next morning?
I had experience that anytime I learned something was going on, I could usually multiply it by 2.5 to 3 times.
If she said she had been there once, she could have actually been there 3 times.
Whatever, but I knew trouble was coming.
And how long had y'all been married?
It was around 18 years, I think, when I filed.
18 years. So you thought if she's been over there 3 times, that, by God, that's enough.
Well, the reason... It was certainly more that triggered this than just the divorce, than the gambling itself.
Well, what led up to this? Because, I mean, come on, that seems a little radical.
Let's just say that the rest of the elements of the marriage were not working very well at all.
Well, give me the rest of the story.
There was constant fighting. There was disagreements. There was no satisfaction in the marriage. There was...
You talking about sex?
There was sex, yes.
Okay, well, we're
There
adults. You can say it.
Sure. But it was the constant feeling that I was always chasing after something that would satisfy Leslie. And no matter what I did, the mark or the bar would change. And I just could never, ever do anything that would make Leslie happy.
We still talking about sex, or have we moved on to something else?
It was the broad spectrum of the marriage.
I'm just asking.
Well, you did, yes.
Yeah. How you doing over here?
I'm just letting him roll. And you know, here's the funny thing is that he and I, before, I don't know, it'd been like 10 years previous, we went and played bingo and he won $300 himself.
We're not here over a $300 bingo game, are we?
No.
No.
Heck no.
What the hell's going on?
I know. I'd like to know.
Because I made some notes here, and you said he is a lying, conniving psychopath, physically abusive, a rapist, that he threatens you with money, wanted you living under a bridge, that he's addicted to porn, that he parades around with his privates in his hands in front of the children. And then you're talking to me about a bingo game? I mean, are we...
Yeah, no, and I believe...
Did I bring over the wrong cards?
Okay. No, you didn't bring over the wrong cards. I said sociopath, which is somebody who...
I know what it means.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I need a break. If Nelson had nothing to hide, why did he keep his financial documents in a lockbox? And he doesn't disagree with that. He says there is a perfectly rational explanation. He says when he'd leave the house, he would lock these things up in a lockbox and he would take them with him. And he says for damn good reason. We'll see if there is one when we come back.
2003, Nelson raped me. He asked me if he could have sex. I said, I guess so. Once he started, there was a lot of pain. I kept asking him to stop, but he wouldn't. Finally, I screamed and pushed on his chest so hard that he stopped. Nelson was very, very angry, saying, poor little Leslie, you're such a victim. You're such a little victim. I was shocked.
Well, Leslie claims her ex-husband, Nelson, has not only taken advantage of her financially, but sexually, too. In fact, she claims her marriage was filled with abuse. Now, Nelson agrees there was abuse in the marriage, but he remembers the incidences very differently.
Nelson was very abusive to me. The first time he was abusive to me, he threw me up against the wall like this, his hands on my neck like this, and then he threw me on the floor, and he put his whole weight on top of me, and he was going like this to me.
I never choked Leslie. Leslie would go into fits of rage. I would defend myself by holding up my hands to block her.
And he would swing me around.
We would get into a conflict where there was pushing, and it was both of us. Leslie would make up stories to make me look like the aggressor.
I called the police on him 5 times.
I remember I needed her signature on the tax form to complete it. I asked her if she would sign, and she declined. We argued back and forth. She grabbed a box that contains all my financial papers and ran into the bedroom.
He grabbed me and he said, get over here, you're gonna sign these taxes. And he put my head down like this, because the papers were all laid out. Sign them, sign those taxes, he said.
The conflict that ensued involved pushing, shoving, grabbing. The situation was out of hand, and I called the police. Leslie claimed she was hit.
And I had him arrested for assault and battery.
Leslie plays a victim very well.
I was just worn out.
Did you sign?
Yeah, oh yeah, I wasn't not going to sign.
She wanted to get paid to sign the forms.
Is that how that went?
Yes. How it went.
You grabbed her head and threw it on
that
the
is, that is.
Oh.
That looks like Circus Olay.
Oh my God. You threw me in the living room.
I do not remember it happening like that.
You don't remember that?
And if it happened like that, I would have remembered it, but I do not remember it happening like that.
Why don't you remember anything? You didn't do anything.
Did he grab you like that?
No. At first, he grabbed me and threw me around in the living room, and then he grabbed me and then brought me over to the table, and he asked me to sign him. We had a computer. I picked it up. I wasn't going to do anything with it, and that angered him because he thought I was just going to like bash the thing on the floor, and he brought me over, you know, and he said, "Sign those papers. You're going to sign those papers."
You picked up the computer.
I picked up the computer board, and he thought I was going to break it. And he grabbed me.
What were you going to do with it?
I just picked it up because to see what he was going to do.
You just thought you were just going to test him.
Well, I was tired. I was really tired, you know? When he filed for divorce, he wanted to do it under that house. I said, this is not a good idea. Staying under the same roof while we're walking through this divorce.
How long were you under the same roof?
About 2.5 years.
Oh, my God. So y'all lived under the same roof for 2.5 years?
It was a nightmare, Dr. Phil.
You know, he took that box to work every day. I don't know what the hell was in the box. One time I grabbed the box, and I jumped in the car. He came in after me, bammed me, you know, grabbed that box from me. One time he jumped in the car, took my purse, and I had to call his lawyer and say, Mister, what do I do here? Nelson's locked himself in the car with my purse.
You grabbed the box and ran with the box.
That box was always right there. He never let me touch it.
I wondered, and I kept saying, what do I do? What do help me? How do I get this? But there are important documents in the box. You know?
But you got your hands on that box once, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. And boy, he came after me, too, man. I mean, I'm telling you.
What was in the box?
I had my checkbook, credit cards, extra credit cards. I had the things I used to pay my bills. That's kind of out of what I ran my household budget with. And I had to keep it with me. I had to keep it locked in my truck. I had to take it to work. If she got access to it, we found through my bank, she tried to pay for one of her credit card bills through my checking account.
What?
By getting the number off of the check. So the bank required me to open up a new account, close the old one, and it made it very clear.
The day he filed, he shut those cards. He took it all, just like that. Cut them, took them from me, out of my purse, gone.
But we made an agreement where I would pay her every week a certain amount of money, and I gave her a check. And so she would have the checking account number that way. And then she used that to try to make a credit card payment.
I think she disagrees with you.
Yes. Let's just say we have two different versions of reality here.
Oh, yeah, we certainly do. Remember, I'm the victim. I'm the victim, and the victim always remembers.
Did Nelson hide $1 million from Leslie? We're going to talk about that when we come back. Now, you say that there was a divorce, there was a settlement, but that it was a fraud.
Yes, that is correct.
That, in fact, that $1 million was hidden from you.
I think he had bank accounts that he had money in. I mean, I don't understand at the end how he has $1 million, near $8,000, and I have a year and a half of 18 years of marriage. That's what I got. He got the house. Oh my God. He says on there he gave me like $70,000 while this took place like for 4.5 years. Yeah, he made a gentleman's promise with my lawyers that I will take care, see that her hair is done. I will buy her clothes and women's products. There won't be any difference from her living at the house. And he moved me into a one-bedroom apartment.
We were provided the document. It indicated that Leslie was to receive 50% of Nelson's plan as of 2/18/10, adjusted for earnings. And in Nelson 2010, 488,040, and Nelson 2012 was $1,000,007. Leslie 2010 to 12,307, 822. And what you're saying is it sure jumped up.
It sure did.
The deal was made in 2010.
I didn't.
And whatever it is after that, you have no claim to, right? I mean, the clock stops when you make the deal.
Yeah, but I think he was hiding money.
But you and your lawyer, you had representation.
Yes. I was just tired.
Your lawyer wasn't tired, right?
He was a friend.
Did you have poor representation?
Yes.
I'm not going to say his name, because I'm not going to disperse his name.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I had poor representation all through the time. I had several different lawyers.
You've been divorced for 4 years.
That's right.
Okay. In that 4 years, have you had a job?
I haven't worked since 2007, 2006.
Okay, so you haven't worked in 9 years.
Yep.
You think maybe you should...
I know you think that's funny.
No, I'm just saying, do
I
you
know you
think,
think
may,
that-
do you think maybe you should get a job?
I'm,
Because, I mean, I could help you with that.
I wish you could. He was very verbally abusive through our whole marriage. I wanted to go back to college. I had a year left. I made straight A's, and he told me, if you want to go back to college, you go get your own student loans and hump it like I did. That's what he told me. And I thought that it would be good for the kids to see me go to college. He was not backing or supporting of me ever.
It's a good reason to get a divorce.
Well, I had enough of this, okay? I got hit.
Listen, I agree.
This started a long time ago. You're a bag lady. You're going to end up under a bridge. You don't help. You're a leech. You're telling my kids when I'm helping them with their homework, you're no smarter than a dog, Max. You can only take so much of this.
Right, and so you get away from it, and you work on healing those wounds, and then at some point you've got to decide either you lay down and you spend the rest of your life as a victim, or you find your strength and you get up and claim who you are, because you're smart. Because you're smart.
I know that. I know I'm a smart woman. I know this about myself. I do, Dr. Phil.
Well, theirs was definitely a house divided. Leslie and Nelson's daughter on the one side and their son on the other. We're going to meet them and see what they have to say when we come back.
Nelson doesn't support my son, Sam. Emily is Daddy's little girl. Emily is taken care of. Emily doesn't want to rock the boat because Emily feels very safe under that roof. With that money, there's a huge double standard. And Sam's in a lot of pain about it. Because it happened to me, I know.
Leslie maintains that she would do anything for her children. However, she accuses her ex-husband of favoring their daughter. She says that she and her son Sam both know what it feels like to be abandoned by Nelson.
Right now, I have no relationship with my father. He's completely unaware of the pain he's caused. There is a double standard whenever it comes to my father with my sister and I. My dad treats my sister Emily differently because she's a girl. He thinks that I ought to man up and work like he did. My dad does not understand my wanting to be a musician.
Emily's in college. Sam dropped out of college, and he's unemployed.
My dad supports my sister financially, and he houses her. Lots more money given to her, way more clothes. He makes me feel a bit like a beggar. The way he treats Emily and I differently has caused a separation between us because it feels so unfair that I'm not getting the same kind of treatment. I feel like my dad has broken his family in pieces.
Well, Sam's sister disagrees. She says her mom only has herself to blame for this whole situation.
Feels like my mother only pays attention to me whenever she's trying to get me to turn against my father. My mother texts me, you tell your dad that there's a storm coming for him. Sometimes I wonder if my mother is emotionally or mentally stunted.
I do think Nelson's brainwashed Emily against me.
My mother talks about deserving more money from the divorce almost every time she sees me. I just can't be around her if she's gonna continue bringing up the divorce.
I've seen Emily about 3 or 4 times this last year perform. I know she wants me there, but she's just so busy all the time. I was a great wife, and I was a wonderful mother.
My brother and I would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning with my mother marching up the stairs, trying to kick or punch my father's bedroom door in, screaming that she needed more money and that he was nothing but a cheapskate. One day, I looked out the window and my mother had an extension cord in her hand and she was going to try and hit him with it, and I almost called the police. Whenever my mother moved out, I thought, hallelujah, the chaos and turmoil is over.
Okay, now I hate any time I see a family fragment and come apart. You feel that your mother was then and is now being victimized by your father, as are you?
That's correct. That's the way I feel. I mean,
what is it that he should be doing that he's not doing? Being as specific as you can be. What is it?
As specific as I can, emotionally being there for me. I want you to talk to me. I want you to listen to me.
You want me to listen to you, Sam?
Yeah, I want you to listen, and you haven't been listening. I've been so afraid to talk to you. I've been so afraid to say a thing because I've got a dream. I've got a dream, and I changed my dream from being a physicist to being a musician.
When he changed from pursuing astrophysics to pursuing music, did you feel like he went off the rails and that was something you couldn't support? Just be honest.
No, I understand that Sam feels a passion for his music. I said, hey, I support you. I think this is the time to do it. Do you remember me telling you that?
I haven't heard enough of that.
Sam, I feel like you're really upset that Mom had to move out and that you feel like you didn't really have that bond, but I don't know what else should have been done. I feel like that was what was best for everybody at the time.
A situation where my mother's not in a one-bedroom apartment, that I can't go visit her, and that is financially...
You asked. We asked him.
The financially is you're not supporting your wife who raised your children.
They are divorced.
Right.
And they did make a divorce settlement.
And that's a lie. I mean, on the divorce settlement...
You did get a divorce.
Yes, but...
And you did make a settlement.
There are lies on that, though, and I didn't catch them. My mother had cancer. You see, I only had two choices once he threw me out of that house. You either call your mother and father, who are 85 and 86, or you call your children. He hid money.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. Your mother died. Your best friend passed away. You had to put your dad in a home.
Yeah, back to the house.
But this was years ago.
I just want my fairness.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, I have a concern I want to address with Leslie when we come back.
Some nights I drink 3 beers, sometimes 4 or 5. I drink shots of vodka. I take anxiety medicines, and I take sleeping pills. I do it every night.
I was told that my mother could not even breastfeed me as a baby because she was addicted to pain pills. I remember when I was very young that she asked me to flush some pills down the toilet for her.
Leslie was doctor shopping, and she was able to get multiple prescriptions from doctors. Leslie had to go to treatment.
I've been to treatment 4 times. There's 5. Twice I went to get away from Nelson. It was like a vacation.
Leslie says over the years she's been to rehab for alcohol and pills twice, and claims she just didn't get away from Nelson. She says she was clean and sober for most of their marriage until the day Nelson threw her out of the house. She says she started drinking again and has a new drinking buddy.
When I was 16, my dad kicked my mom out of the house.
When I moved in the apartment, I really started drinking. I drink shots of vodka, drink beers. Beers are very, very strong, probably the heaviest you can. Right now, Sam and I are drinking together.
We're living in a 3-bedroom apartment.
Some nights I drink 3 beers. Sometimes Sam and I drink 4 or 5 if we're doing a whole nighter because, you know, he gets upset. I want to stay with him. For a while, we did some pot, but Sam and I both have trouble with sleep pills. Sam needs my sleeping pills to help him go to sleep. I take anxiety medicines and I take sleeping pills and I mix them on top of my drinking. Do it every night. In fact, it's time to have one now.
I'm going to say some things to you that you need to hear, whether you want to hear them or not. Because, see, I'm what's called expendable. It really doesn't matter whether you guys like me or whether you don't, because I don't have to go home with you. So
I
that
love
means
you.
That means I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do.
I love you.
And I think I've been very nice to you, right? Because I told you I like you. I think you're a smart woman. I think.
Oh, I've been following you for years.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Way back on Oprah.
Okay. So you were digging me back in the Oprah days, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's forget that.
Just for the purpose of argument.
Okay.
Let's decide that he's a no-good rat bastard, okay?
You betcha.
Let's just, and I'm not.
Let's play this. Let's go here.
Not saying that's true. Love what you're doing with your hair. But let's just, for argument's sake, we can get into it later, whether it's true or not, but just for argument's sake, let's decide that what you're saying is absolutely true, that he's a no-good rat bastard, okay? So I won't even debate that. If that's true, you're divorced from him. He's in your rearview mirror. Before I allow you to steal my son's dreams as you smashed mine into the earth, you should be a writer. I think the power of language is amazingly strong. The power of language is amazingly strong. When we use words and we say them to ourselves, they're amazingly strong. But we use these words sometimes to describe what's happening in our lives. And you do that a lot. You do that a lot. I made a list of the power of language, and you said, we look just like rag people. Okay, you had a hole in your sleeve. That is, like rag people.
Oh, my God.
You say, I think Dr. Phil is going to shotgun right into him. I knew it in my gut. I know in my heart of hearts. I know in an instinctual way, right down through my whole soul and body, that he hid money. No, you don't. You just suspect it. You say, I'm dying every day. You're not dying every day. You're not dying every day. You say, we filed for divorce. I was a hostage. No, hostage are people that SWAT teams come after. You say, I was like a caged bird. I had no voice. Oh, we know you have a voice. You say, I was running, and Nelson is meticulous. It's like gunfire, and then you would make gun sounds. Fire again, gun sounds. It's like he was firing into me. Nelson's all about image. Nelson writes fiction, lives fiction. He is fiction. I mean, you would go on to this. You do it. He beat me down. Then you'd say, I was locked. I locked myself in the house. Then you would write text to Emily, and you would say, he's going to screw her and toss her in a field. Death to her. Wow. In talking about what he's going to do to you with regard to money. And then you say, he just kept reloading and firing more bullets into me. Before I allow you to steal my son's dreams as you smashed mine into the earth. I mean, you should be a writer.
I am.
Seriously, I know.
I am. I'm writing a book.
No, I know.
You're damn right.
I do my homework. You originally came out here and you were in to pursue acting school and things of that. You have. That's why I said you have a great personality.
This is all about then. This is all about then. This is not about now.
This is what you said day before yesterday.
I also said I was tired of this. I am tired of this.
Okay. This is the way you talk to yourself.
And I do not walk around talking to myself like that all the time. Okay?
Good. Then
I do not.
Okay.
But I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
And you're 110% right.
If you don't talk to yourself that way, then that's one thing done.
No, you're 100% right. This is self-defeating behavior. I understand that. You are 110.
You know she does.
I think he talks that way to himself, too.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly. Clearly.
We both do.
Children learn what they live. You've got to get yourself clean. You got to get yourself sober. You got to stop being a victim. You got to start being a victor. You got to get back in the game.
You're damn right.
You're dealing with some serious issues here, and I'm willing to help you with these if you want the help. I'm willing to help you with these. Now, I can't tell you that I can change your past. Not even God can change what has happened.
He's gotten away with it. He screwed me.
Okay, then if he did,
that.
then the best revenge is living well. I am willing to send you to a dual diagnosis treatment center to get you the help you need, the serious help that you need. I will make that happen for you at our expense, my gift to you. Are you willing to take that help?
Yes.
I will send you to South Padre Island, to Hannah's house. I will send you down there, and they will help you learn how to star in your own life. That's what you need to do, is star in your own life.
Yes.
And if he needs that help, I will do the same thing for him. If he needs that help, I will do the same thing for you.
I need clarity. I've got a dream.
I understand. Look, I have a son that's a musician, and I support his passion. This is my son, Jordan.
Oh my God, he's a rocker.
He's a musician, and I'm so proud of him, I can't even tell you. If you get any of the satisfaction that he does, I'll be in your balcony.
I bet you back.
These Origins people are fabulous. I will call them. I will make it happen. Are you willing to do this?
Absolutely.
All right, done. If you need that help, I'll make it happen for you. All right, done. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Origins. If you or someone else is going through a volatile divorce, log on to drphil.com. You can tell me about it. We will see you next time.
Oh, God, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Back to see you.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive, call it